everybody. Welcome to the XP Billionaires podcast. My name is Rafe. I have Sky. I have Mel. We have everybody that was here last week for part 2 of our Pride series. So let's say hello to everybody. Sky, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I have been playing Eliza on my Switch. Not an RPG, but a very interesting and deep visual novel about an AI therapist program and her creator. I've been quite enjoying it. I don't know how far I'm in yet, but if chapter 5 means anything to those in the know, I believe I'm in chapter 5.
I've heard good things about that one.
It's very good. The writing's on point. The voice acting's been very good. Pretty nice artistically too, in a sort of somber sort of way. It deals with a lot of issues around, mental health and depression and, grief, trauma. It's quite difficult to put down, which I guess I can chalk up to how excellent the writing really is. I mean, it's hard to make very intense writing very unputdownable, but the best can do it, and it so far so good.
I don't know. That definitely seems like the kind of thing I would have to be in a specific mood to play. But at the very least, it does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty clever concept, and I'll be glad to play more. I don't know how close to the end I am, but it's certainly been an interesting ride. I picked it up in the recent Switch sale, so to give it a try. So yeah, so far so good. Other than that, I'm still working on P5 Royal, Persona 5 Royal. It's taking me forever. And I'm also working on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Yeah, it is Definitive Edition. I don't know why I questioned myself. It's really good. Like, the quality of life improvements have made the game even more enjoyable, and the environments look so incredible in HD. I'm over the moon with it, really. I don't think it's going to take me as long this time around due to those quality improvements and what knowledge I have left in my brain from when I played it the first time. So yeah, that's so it's been a nice experience.
No, awesome. Glad you're keeping with them. All right, Mel, how are you doing? What have you been playing? All of these questions.
All of these questions and more brought to you by the letter L. So I am actually between games. This is my kind of I often start games on tonight. So I'm starting in Other Waters, which I'm really excited for. I don't know why I've really been into underwater games lately. And this is supposed to be a game where you're exploring this alien ocean. It's non-violent. It's just a place of kind of wandering through and exploring and learning. And it seems really cool. So yeah, I'm feeling explorational, I guess, or I'm feeling like an explorer today.
Have you played any of the Xenoblade games?
I have not.
If the exploration aspect is something you really enjoy, I would suggest it, particularly the first one. They are amazing worlds to explore. And the games are more designed for you to, they are action RPGs, but they're more designed to keep your focus a lot of the time on the environment, which I think is really lovely.
And it looks like I can get the definitive edition for only $79.99.
Yeah, well, it just came out.
Xenoblade, send me a free copy for advertising purposes. Kidding.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, perhaps you can. I've posted some screenshots on my Twitter. If you want to get a sense of how beautiful this game actually is and how lush and interesting the environments are.
Oh yeah, no, they've done a great job with it from everything that I've seen, and basically everything I've seen either came from your Twitter or you just playing it on the TV. So, but yeah, as for me, I'm doing great. I'm still trudging away at Star Trek Online. I really do enjoy the story aspect of it, so I'm trying to get as much of that done. Plus, there's some events going on, which I've been working at day to day. I've also started a couple of games just to give myself some variety. I've started Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. I tried the original when it first came out on the PS3 and didn't get very far. I don't think I was that good at it at the time, so I do want to give it a second go, see if I can get through it because I was enjoying it at the time. It then got overshadowed by something else, as happens with me when I hit a slump. Something better comes along, and then I just tend to ignore it, which is bad. So I need to get kind of better at that. And then also because I need something that's not an RPG and something that's fairly mindless, I picked up Agents of Mayhem for really cheap, and it is absolutely ridiculous. It's from Deep Silver, the same guys who did the Saints Row games, and it's just basically a comedic take on a kind of a heroes versus villains GI Joe-esque world. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty dumb, but it's a senseless, mindless exploration shoot 'em up game, which apparently I was in the mood for. So that's it.
Sometimes you have to just keep trying stuff till you find something that works.
And that's what I did. I do have to go back to Mega Man X Command Mission, but because of this design of the game, it's really tricky for me to play it, just before I go to work or just after I get home and have to go to bed. It's a little tricky there, so I'll try to get that on my days off, but I'll get it done at some point because I do want to finish that too. So, all right, well, let's move on. Let's get on to our second Pride topic of our Pride series. So this week, we are going to talk about some of our favorite canon or optional LGBTQ plus couples and what makes them such great representations for the community as a whole. Honestly, pretty straightforward this time around. So choices were still pretty tricky, but I think this one was definitely a lot easier than the last one. I'm not going to lie. But that's because there's more of this. So again, the more inclusion, the more we have to talk about, people.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So let's get started with us talking about our favorite explicitly LGBTQ plus couple in RPGs and why they're so amazing. Mel, you gonna get us started off this time.
Sure thing. When thinking about this topic, realized how many couples I just ship in my head. So once I figured out which ones were real, which ones I'd imagined, I settled on talking about the game Prey. I'm talking about the 2017 Prey from Arcane Studios. There's a couple LGBT couples in this game that I love, but I'm going to talk about Danielle Shaw and Abigail Flaw because they're pretty well explored throughout audio logs. This is one of those games where you're picking up logs and that's the primary way you're getting to know people. And eventually in the game, you meet Danielle and you can talk to her and get a little bit more context. So these characters are just really well established. Abby's this sweet and charming woman, and Danielle is brash and really quick to anger. But they legitimately seem to be a really good couple. Like they seem to bring out the best in each other. Abby's a little bit gets walked over a lot, and Danielle kind of helps build her up. And Danielle is quick to anger, and Abby can usually calm her down. We see they actually end up starting to date because they play the game's version of D&D together. And Abby is just shocked that Danielle has actually shown up to play with them. And you get to see through the journals and what they're doing that they skip out of work to stay in bed all day. They tease each other about being shitty at video games. But then you also hear when they're having fights and when they have these blowouts where they almost break up. And I love that you see them in their good moments and their bad moments. It's not just they're happy at all times forever. They're just a real couple.
That's really nice, we don't see a lot of that necessarily. Even with hetero couples, we don't see a lot of that in video games. So it's nice to see realistic depictions of relationships.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about they do it is one of the main things that tends to get Danielle very upset is talking about the character that you, the player, are playing. She really does not like you at all. And that's kind of like a way that you get in is they'll start talking about work and then they start talking about you, their boss, and Danielle is just so critical of everything you have ever done. And it makes you kind of like you're hearing them talk about you, but you're also getting this great insight to who they are together.
No, that's awesome. So let's move on to mine. Mine comes from the Outer Worlds. My choice was the budding relationship of Parvati and Junlei. Basically, after these two meet on the Groundbreaker, Parvati is afflicted with the most adorable case of puppy love I've ever seen in a video game. You complete her side quest, and it's just all these things trying to help Parvati impress her when they get to meet again. So you go and try to find, special food items or different things. I don't remember the entire things what you had to look for, but it was all just to impress this other engineer that she was just so smitten with, and it was one of the cutest things. I can't get over how cute it was. And the thing about it is that you want to help her do this because Parvati is as much a ray of sunshine as a certain other engineer from a similar sci-fi franchise, which y'all probably know which one I'm talking about. You just can't resist such a sweet and cheerful human being. It was just cute. That's what it is. Cute.
Now, what little of I saw of the game, like Parvati was just this lovely, sweet girl, and I say girl, adult, but she has this sort of sunshiny innocence to her, and it's nice to see that in a queer character, because so many of us are so jaded because life.
She is just the sweetest little thing though. Like, and I like it as you keep doing these favors, you're getting cakes and dresses. You're eventually just like, are you trying to avoid asking her out by making this like ridiculous like list of things you have to do first? And she's like, no. We've all been there.
It's true.
All right, Sky, let's hear your favorite pairing.
So I'm gonna go with Jun and Tatsuya from Persona 2 Innocent Sin. I love them so much. They're so cute. Yes, this couple was created by the same company who created Naruto and Kanji. More than a generation earlier, we had these two. So really, Tatsuya is the main character, and you get the opportunity to pick which character Tatsuya declares himself in love with at one point. And one of the options is Jun, and Jun is sweet and adorable and so flamboyant, obsessed with flowers. He's a little bit of a stereotype of a gay kid, really, but it's so sweet that you gotta love him anyway. The thing is, they're so clearly in love with each other. Like, there's such an emotional connection there. Now, I can't describe exactly why because that's huge major plot spoilers. But it's so profound that I think it's actually ridiculous that you can pick anyone else. Like, it just seems like such a natural choice. It doesn't seem like a stretch at all. And so that's why I love them. And yeah, that's our two lovely boys.
No, awesome. I didn't get far enough in Persona 2 to get to that choice. So I honestly don't know. I it's another one I have to get back to. This is my problem. It's just this is what happens.
Yep.
All right, let's have a little bit more fun and move on to this question. So what is your favorite thinly veiled subtextual LGBTQ plus couple? Mel, you have command of the board again. Wow, that was really Jeopardy. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was good. I like that. Thinly veiled LGBT couples for 300. um, um, my answer for this is going to change just based on where I am any given week. Right now, I'm really back into thinking about Dishonored. I've been planning to play a replay of Dishonored, and I really love Emily and Wyman in Dishonored too. So Emily is the lead, but we never actually meet her partner, and every reference to Wyman is like done specifically to make it unclear of like what gender, sex, identity Wyman has. Like even first name, like we're only given family name here, and whenever a game intentionally does that to me, I'm like, okay, well you're just trying not to exclude people who would be offended by she. So anyways, I think they're very cute. I read Emily as very gay or bi personally. And I think that, she has this partner who we don't see, but that, it's alluded to that they, basically do everything that her parents did, get drunk and have sex in like a secret room behind the bedroom, is like really adorable.
What? Oh my.
Should I explain more about that like random offhanded sexual comment?
I'm curious.
So in the very first Dishonored game, you are trying to find this little girl. You're the protector of the royal family, and as the game progresses, it's pretty clear that she's your daughter and that you were having an affair with the Empress. So your whole relationship has been hidden. So you have these like little moments where you get a hint of who they actually were together, and there's the secret room behind a fireplace where they like clearly like drank cigars, drank whiskey, or smoked cigars, drank whiskey, and had lots and lots of sex. Because you can't do that stuff in public when you're a royal and a commoner.
Wow.
And I just think it's so funny that Emily's doing exactly the same thing in Dishonored too. Like just like exactly what her parents did, sneaking around, getting high.
Awesome. As for me, I have gone back to the Trails of Cold Steel series, and I am talking about Eustace and Machias. Talk about the stereotypical old married couple. Like they spent months coming to terms with like accepting one another as equals. There's this whole commoner and nobility thing, similar to what you were just talking about, Mel. And when they finally realized, hey, we're both just people, we're going to be soldiers and we're going to fight in the same war, like rank is irrelevant, they start becoming better comrades. But they don't stop bickering like they've been married for 40 years. They're like my parents. Oh
They
my
are
God.
like parents. That's it just doesn't stop.
So it's just like, and Machias, like he clearly is denying it because he's tends to fall for every gracious looking beautiful young maiden there is. But I mean that's totally a front. Like he just goes back to Eustace every time, and it's just like, oh my God, like just get it over with. Come on. But like this goes on for years. Like they're still like this when they reunite in Cold Steel 3 and a few years have passed. So I don't know what to tell you. But on that note, Sky, why don't you give us yours?
So I'm gonna go with Tottori and Mimi from Atelier Tottori. Now, people have been shipping these two for years, and at first I didn't really get it, right? Like I was just like, what? Why? I don't get how they work together. And then I played Atelier Lilua, the fourth game in the tetralogy, I guess it is now, where they act like an old married couple, similar to Eustace and Machias. And it's the funniest thing. It's just downright hysterical. So I'm on board with this ship now. Plus, Tottori can play Mimi like a fiddle, and it is the best. The thing about Tottori is that she is way smarter and way more conniving than she appears. And Mimi is just this quick-tempered, aristocratic mess who can't really compete with Tottori in that way. it was so much fun watching them dance around each other in Lalua. It was one of my favorite parts of the game, to be honest. So yeah, Chitori and Mimi.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. I always knew those kids would go along very well. I don't know. I'm not sure where to go with that.
Well, and it's one of those cases too where it kind of makes sense it's never confirmed because Gust does not really confirm relationships for any protagonist.
At least not in the Atelier series. I mean, you have to.
No, not in the Atelier games. No,
Yeah.
that's what I
Okay.
meant.
Okay. Yeah, Art and Ellico, Knights of Azure. I think they make you make some choices. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, Knights of Azure, it's already a thing, and in Art and Ellico, you choose. So they don't do that in Ateliers. So I don't get as frustrated by the fact it's not confirmed because it's consistent with their behavior.
No, fair enough. All right. So now we're going to open the floodgates, and I'm sure Mel is going to be super thrilled here because that list that she made this morning, she gets to put it out in full force, I'm sure. But our last question for the day. So what LGBTQ couple do you wish wasn't just in your head and would have made their game that much more interesting? I'm just going to step back for a moment while Mel does her thing.
Well, I'm going to be like a broken record here, and I will die on this hill. Persona, listen. I need some gay romances. I'm going to focus on Ryuji. Let me have Ryuji. I need him. He's beautiful. He's hurt. Let me help him. Both of our parents are terrible. Let's work out together and then, wrestle.
Wrestle.
Listen to me, Atlas. Talking to you.
Okay. Wow. Apparently, I needed that. Wow. Oh man. Okay. I'm good.
You're welcome.
Oh, all right. Well, let's move on to me. I have to say, Kiryu and Majima from Yakuza. Majima's already there. Kiryu just needs a little bit more convincing, and Kiryu can be really gullible, especially when it comes to Majima. You know, if you think I'm wrong, think about the Yakuza Kiwami zombie night scene. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and like literally the whole fandom like ships those two. Like you cannot tell me the sexual tension isn't there. It's so freaking obvious.
Yeah, it is. All right, Sky, give us yours. You can do this. I believe in you.
Yeah, like it's that hard. Okay. Who doesn't ship Flick and Victor from Suikoden? Like really, who doesn't? Everybody does. Our two favorite I guess we'll call them mercenaries. But really, you can't see Flick with a woman anymore. And Victor, I think, just likes people who are buff. At this point, I think are his tastes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's about right.
So they work together. The other one that immediately comes to mind is Skycat and Luca from Art and Ellico 2. And I don't even like Luca, but do I like the idea of her with Skycat? Yes. Yes, I do. Keeps me warm at night.
It was definitely one of those one-sided attractions there, at least at first. So.
Yes, but I much prefer the idea of Luca with Skycat than with Croy.
That is fair. Plus, I also know you're a huge Cloche supporter, so.
Yes, Croy and Cloche are meant for each other. I will die on that hill.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of bodies on that hill someday. I assume they're all going to the same hill. All right. So, yeah, I think we've had our fun at this point. So, I guess it's everybody else's turn, all you listeners. It's time for you to tell us your favorite pairings. Hit us up on our social media or comment on the episode wherever you're listening to it. Podbean, YouTube, wherever you're picking up your podcasts. If it lets you like and comment, please do so and give us your picks. If you want to talk to us directly, do it through our social media. You can find me on Twitter at BillionairesXP, or you can find me on Instagram at Rafe Thegram. Sky, where could everyone find you?
I'm at SkyKnightXP on Twitter and SkyKnight.xp on Instagram.
And Mel, where are you at?
I am on Instagram at Feminist Gamer and Twitter at Feminist Gamer 3, and I GM a D&D game on Twitch every Wednesday nights, so check it out.
Absolutely. And check out our schedules, our written works, our quickfire reviews. They're all on our website, and that's xpbillionaires.ca. Please check that out. And lastly, check out our monthly newsletter on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/xpbillionaires. If you feel like sending us a donation, please do. And if not, just spread the word of what we do to get the love out there. That helps us just as much. So we absolutely appreciate everything you guys do to help keep this podcast going. So I appreciate all of that. So that's going to be it for us this week. And at this point, there's only really two things I can say. Happy Pride and keep gaming. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.